everybody, it is Natalie from Power Moon Tarot. Welcome to your reading. Today's reading is regarding a Saturn retrograde reading, and Saturn, the planet, will be retrograde from the time of June 29th till about the middle of November of this year, and Saturn will be retrograde in Pisces from 19 degrees of Pisces back to 12 degrees of Pisces. And today's reading is going to be focused on this period of your life from the end of June until the middle of November, and what lessons Shani or Saturn is bringing into your life. And I have three piles to choose from, and all three piles have Saturnian cards on top of them here, which I'm going to explain. And if you have planets in mutable signs anywhere from 12 to 19 degrees, that would be in Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces, then you probably will be feeling the effects of this retrograde a little bit more than maybe some others. But, you know, not to scare people, because Saturn is retrograde for 4 to 5 months out of the year every single year. However, we really want to pay attention to the day that Saturn is stationing. So that would be the day that Saturn is stationing retrograde or Saturn is stationing direct, meaning that it is either moving forward or going backwards. So we really want to pay attention to those particular days. And for the day that Saturn is stationing retrograde, that is June 29th of this month. And I don't know if you guys remember last year when Saturn went retrograde. On the day that Saturn went into retrograde motion last year, when Saturn was in Pisces, was the day that those billionaires went down to the bottom of the ocean to look at the Titanic, and their submarine imploded. And so that's what happened last year when Saturn turned retrograde in Pisces. Of course, Saturn has to do with the oceans and, you know, danger in the oceans, Saturn and Pisces. And so we can see kind of like what a powerful day that retrograde day when Saturn is stationing can actually be. So I just wanted to, not to scare people, but just to kind of remind people of some of the events that have happened on those days. Now, how likely is it that we will be down in the depths of the ocean exploring the Titanic on this year's retrograde? Probably not for you and I watching this video right now. So that is good as far as us not being on the bottom of the ocean. But let's go ahead and take a look at what lessons Saturn is going to be wanting to work with you during this retrograde, okay? And you can go directly to the description box below to choose your pile if you already know what pile you want to pick, but I will go through the piles. And every pile is Saturn themed, and I'm using my new deck not my deck that I made, but a deck that I bought called the Urban Crow Oracle. And I do like it a lot, and crows are very representative, especially like black crows are very representative of Saturn, and crows were generally associated with Saturn, as different birds are associated with different planets, just as different metals and different days of the week. Like there's many different associations for each of the planets, and crows have always been associated with Saturn. And so I think that, and people have kind of feared crows at some point, you know, and Saturn does represent an energy of fear, and can represent an energy of like backwardness and moving backward on something, or slowing down on a particular thing, or a fear or an anxiety that something won't work out. And so we will be taking a look at those elements in the reading today. For pile number 1, we have card 18 from this deck, and it says fear. So if you're dealing with some fears in your life right now, and you feel like fear is a theme that's been coming up for you, you may think about choosing pile number 1. For pile number 2, we have card 34, And this is the card of observation. Now, Saturn is in Pisces, but Saturn also opposes any planets in Virgo right now as well. So if you have planets in Virgo, Saturn hitting these degrees of 19 degrees Pisces to 12 degrees Pisces, your Virgo planets are probably really feeling it. Of course, observation is an energy that we might associate with Virgo, Pisces opposite sign. Okay, and there is something about Saturn where we want to slow down and observe what we're doing before we take action or move ahead. And I also think it's interesting that there is a spider on this card, and the crow is observing the spider and the intricate web that it has created. Okay, so that's for pile number 2 if you're feeling that energy. And then pile number 3 is card 14. And this is the card of distance. And something I've been hearing a lot lately, I don't know why, it's just been, obviously it's a saying all of us know, but the whole absence makes the heart grow fonder. But sometimes absence just makes things grow colder, if you know what I mean. And because Saturn is in traditional astrology the farthest planet out that you can see with the naked eye, that there is this kind of, and it's very distant and remote from the sun, from the warmth. We think of Saturn as being very cold and dry and, and very distant. And I think especially in a sign like Pisces, there is a tendency for people to get lost or for people to feel lost from someone else or from something that is within themselves. Okay, like they're searching for something within themselves, but it's hard to find because we feel like we're being kept at a distance from something. And that energy of distancing and coldness is also very much a Saturnian energy. So take a deep breath, everybody, and focus in on what pile is really calling your name today. Is it pile number 1 with the fear, pile number 2 with observation, or pile number 3 with distance? Okay, and you can go directly to the description box below. Of course, you are free to watch more than one pile, and I do encourage that as well if you have the time. Of course, addressing issues like time and scheduling and all of that is really hard with Saturn and Pisces, particularly opposing a very organized and detailed sign like Virgo. So time management is definitely of the essence when we start thinking of Saturnian energy. So I understand if you don't have all the time in the world, but I do appreciate you being here. And let's go ahead and begin. I'm going to ring the bell. Pile number 1, welcome to your reading. You chose the fear card to represent your Saturn retrograde energy, and we are going to talk about from the time of June 29th till about the middle of November, what themes is Saturn wanting to bring forward in your life right now, pile number 1, and what lessons is Saturn wanting to work with you on right now, and what does Shani or Saturn have to say about this issue of fear in your life that has been coming up right now, okay? For my pile number 1s. And I just feel like I have like something caught in my throat, or like emotion welling up in my throat, or I've got like some shakiness in my voice right now, pile number 1. So maybe you've been afraid of saying something or afraid of communicating something. Let's see here for my pile number 1s, or fear of addressing a particular issue. Let's see, what is this Saturn retrograde wanting to help pile number 1, please, with? What is, or, Saturn retrograde can also cause us like to have to face certain consequences of certain things as well. And maybe that is something that you've been thinking about. But let's go ahead and see for pile number 1, what does, I feel like you guys have to be the ones to tell someone about a consequence that they need to face, and it's maybe worrying you to do so. Let's see here for my pile number 1s. We've got the Star card here, fear not. Pile number 1. Let's go ahead and see what we have. We've got the Devil. Yeah. The Ace of Wands, needing to face a difficult situation head on. We have the World card. Okay. And the World card in the tarot is a Saturnian card. It does represent, the World card is associated with the planet Saturn. Okay. And we have the Knight of Pentacles. And this could be worrying about something, worrying about something being successful in the future, perhaps worried about money or material things, or worried about a new successful venture that you want to take on, but you're having doubts, or you're having to address the I also feel you guys are having to address an inequality in a situation as well. And you're having to address a situation where you feel like someone has been taking advantage of you for a while, okay? And there is something that you need to bring this situation to light, I feel. Okay, and maybe you feel that this is going to have consequences for you down the road as well. But let's see, pile number 1. We've got Rose. Romance is in the air, and that's coming out under the Devil. Okay, and we have Mice. Discord among friends or family. Okay, and you may fear that somebody in your family or your friend group does not like the person that you're interested in very much, or is not very happy that you are getting to know someone here. We have career. Yeah, that is also true as well. I definitely felt a career aspect coming through. And then we have box. You will receive a gift. I also feel like you will give a gift. Pile number 1. Okay. And I do feel like with this Ace of Wands, you're going to have to stand up for yourself in some way during this Saturn retrograde. We have shame coming out underneath the Devil. You are not flawed. You are so worthy of love and belonging. Forgive yourself for not giving yourself enough self-love. Okay? And there may be something about past relationships coming up, like past toxic relationships where things would just go on and on and on, and things were not addressed. And like the people in your life were definitely upset about this, or creating more problems when it comes to your relationships. We have shadow side and the moon and the dark night. Okay. And there might have been some things that you guys were hiding from your friends or family when it comes to your relationships. Okay. And this could be where you were still talking to somebody that you knew was bad, and you were afraid to tell other people about it, or this is the kind of energy where there could have been a relationship that you were in, or currently a relationship that you're in, that you haven't really told anybody else about, or you haven't talked to anyone else about that. Okay, and maybe you have been afraid to bring something up, is kind of like that energy that I'm going back to at the beginning of the reading, pile number 1. And let's see, we have the Tiger and patience. I mean, Saturn will definitely teach us about patience, and like sticking in on things for the long haul, and being patient with yourself and being patient with other people. You're being reminded that persistence is what is necessary to attain your goals. Yeah. Knight of Pentacles, patience. You are being reminded that persistence is what is necessary to to attain your career goals. And you will be receiving a gift, it says here with this Knight of Pentacles. Okay, you need to be patient and trust that the universe will help you through your challenges in divine timing. Success is guaranteed. Okay, and so there is something here when it comes to your work or your career about being patient. Okay, and some of you could be getting a new desk or a new office space. Okay, or investing in like your tools or the things that you need in order for your projects and the things that you're working on. I also feel some of you could receive a gift of like a new desk or a gift of a new working space or a gift of more money at work or something that you have patiently worked very, very hard for, something that you have taken really good care of, I feel like, and nurtured a lot. And I feel like during this Saturn retrograde period, like your patience is really going to pay off, pile number one, when it comes to your career and when it comes to like sprucing up where you're at. Like if you've wanted a new work area, a new desk, if you wanted a new space for yourself, if you've been needing a new space where you can really focus and concentrate, and then I feel like, I feel like definitely like you have some things really taking off that I feel like you've had to be very patient about, and you're receiving like a pat on the back. You're also receiving support is what I feel for what you're doing. And maybe some of you are getting a new support for your chair, for your desk, but there's a gift coming for you during this Saturn retrograde, an unexpected gift. And I feel like you guys also pay it forward, pile number one. Like somebody helps you and then you're like, oh, wow. Like now all of a sudden I feel like I can really get a lot done here. I feel like I can really move forward on something. And then you come in and help other people because of that. And Saturn loves that. Saturn loves when we like pay it forward, you know, when we're given a gift or we're given, we're rewarded for our patience. Saturn loves to reward for patience. And it also loves when people take that and pay that forward. And there is something karmically correct that's going to be happening for you with your work stuff, I feel, and the things, the success, the ambition, the projects. There is something that is completed with the World card here. There is a signing on the dotted line that definitely happens during this period. Something is approved, something you can take forward and make your own with it. And Saturn is reminding you, like a tiger, silently in the night, like stalking what you want and with laser focus and, not rushing. Okay, we don't want to rush or push things too quickly because that's when the devil pops up. When we are feeding like impatience or rushing or that type of energy into the devil, and we're feeding, we're giving the things that oppose us too much ammunition, basically, okay? Or it's like really worrying about manifesting something that is bad for you, okay? And really concerned, like, what am I creating here? Because I don't know, like this doesn't feel good. Now, I kind of feel like your reading is divided down the center here, pile number one. Do you see where my wand is right there in the middle? I feel like this is your work stuff and this is your relationship stuff. And this is your, having to address an issue about your relationships with family members or friends. We have this discord among friends or family. Like some people, you may have somebody that's trying to hit on the person that you like, or you may find out some information and you find out this shadow side. You look at the shadow side with the devil of what's happening in the discord among your friends or family. And some of you, if you are hiding a relationship, if you're hiding, like if you're going and sleeping with someone and then not telling your friends and family about it, and it's somebody that they know is not really good for you, I do feel like some of these issues are going to come up. And, you know, Saturn loves to have us address our shame. Also, Saturn is associated with Capricorn in the tarot. And I mean, you know, couldn't like, Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, okay? So this is the fear I also feel of you putting yourself out there and being rejected. And that could be a fear that you guys have. If I put myself out there, am I just gonna end up in a toxic thing that I'm hiding from people? Will I be rejected? If I put myself out there and I manifest something, will I be toxically rejected? Okay. And some of you could have been dealing with a lot of shame and hiding things, especially when it comes to your sexual relationships with people, or your desires, you know, and being afraid that the people that you care about are going to find out about some hidden secret thing that you've been doing, okay? And this could even be shame about sexuality, or shame about the people that you want to date, okay? For those of you that are like coming out and dealing with, you know, those issues of talking to friends and family about, you know, sexual orientation or things like that, my heart goes out to you, pile number one. If you're having some fear about that when it comes to friends, family, coworkers finding out about a relationship or about something that is going on in your life, I feel like, you know, Saturn sometimes brings those issues to the surface, like ready or not, it kind of comes out. We have writer, write, or you should say write, or should I say type your story, okay? And yeah, so for those of you that are wanting to, like, you've had writer's block, or you feel like you have all these ideas but you've been scared to move forward with them, and you do want to take your creative works, like, you know, you want to work on a book and you want to take it to a publisher, and you're scared of that rejection, or you're scared to make a move, all right? And remember earlier when I said something in the throat chakra and how my voice was kind of shaking and all of that, this could be the things that, you know, you need to be patient with yourself as you're like putting things together, and patience as your story is coming together and as you're putting things together. And I see you guys like lovingly holding on to and championing something that means a lot to you when it comes to your like writing, telling your story, your work, okay, getting funded for something. If some of you are waiting to get funding for a grant or funding from the government for something, and there's a fear that if I start working on this, it's gonna fail. Okay, the devil can also be where we're really scared of failure, and we're really afraid of, you know, starting something only to have it kind of like fail or blow up in our faces, okay? And yeah, and, you know, some shame about some sexual things or relationship things from the past, okay? And maybe there were times that you lied to friends or family, or that friends or family lied to you about their relationships. And it really, you know, it really hurt your feelings thinking about that, or it really upset you, you know? So I can see where those fears are coming in there, pile number one, but I also think that during this Saturn retrograde period, something is going to get exposed. And I feel like if you take the reins and do it first, it may be better than waiting for someone else to kind of expose it. Also, if you're concerned that there is a friend of yours that is shady or is trying to talk to someone that you like, and you bring it up and that person tries to gaslight you or reverse shame you back, like, just keep in mind of some of these dynamics coming up during this Saturn retrograde time, because it can expose the dark side of things and bring to light things that other people wouldn't really want brought to light. We have engineer. Wow. The ability to give creative energy a practical expression. Talent for designing resolutions to common dilemmas. Yeah, that's the Knight of Pentacles for sure. Talent for designing resolutions to common dilemmas. And, there could also be someone in your life who's an engineer, and the engineer aspect has positive and negative sides, okay? A shadow side of the engineer is reliance on mechanical solutions without regard for emotional consequences. And, that could be very much like a devil type of an energy. And the ability to give creative energy a practical expression, but then somebody does something with it that is is the dark side. This could be like giving someone an idea and then someone taking your idea and turning it into something that actually makes you worry. And, there's interesting stuff going on right now, pile number one, with AI and the moral and ethical uses of AI, and like these genius people coming up with these creative ideas, Ace of Wands, and then like it being used to kind of enslave humanity, like with the Devil card, where we take that like very positive, bright, creative energy and pour it into something that is kind of ugly. You know what I mean? And engineers, of course, have a big role in that, because they're coming up and designing solutions to problems. And, how those get implemented is a big deal. And it's interesting. And I only bring this up, pile number one, because maybe you work in tech, or maybe this is something that's come up for you. But it's interesting because there was like the head of AI at Google resigned because he did not feel comfortable with the direction that they were heading from an AI perspective. So anyway, that is just, and I know probably you guys listening to this are not the chief information officer of Google, but I just want to say there may be some issues with this that come up during this Saturn retrograde, as Pluto is also gone retrograde earlier this month. And it is in Aquarius, retrograding back into the last degree of Capricorn. So there is some stuff going on with that. So maybe, and being worried about being able to find the solution to something quick enough before it totally like devolves into something that is not good, and Mercury in the mind is coming up here. Okay, so it's really important to be patient and to be smart and patient about the suggestions that you're making and the things that you're doing. And it really is important during this Saturn retrograde period to, really think about what you're saying, and also think about how those words are impacting a situation. And I feel the more patient you are, and the more patient you are, and the better patient and persistent with what you're working on. If you're working on a solution to a very complicated problem, then I feel like Spirit is saying be patient. And it's like, oh, I feel like I'm not going to have the solution in time, and somebody needs something right now. Don't let anybody rush you And don't let yourself rush yourself into doing something too quickly. Saturn likes things to be slow. Saturn does not like rushing. It doesn't like, rushing into, relationships with unclear boundaries, and then, you being afraid to tell your friends. Like Saturn is like, no. Saturn wants everyone to be very patient and calm and to take their time with things. And especially if there is a complicated problem that is trying to be worked out during this period, to be patient and calm with what you're doing, okay? And if you have been having writer's block, or you've been trying to come up with a solution to something you've been working really hard on, I do feel like it's going to come through for you during this Saturn retrograde. Just don't take the easiest, quickest route, because Saturn doesn't like that, okay? And Saturn likes us to be measured and slow and careful. Now, I just want to go ahead and read the fear card here as well for you, pile number 1. And this is card 18. It says, have you seen crows hanging around a scarecrow? I'm sure they were once afraid of it, but over time, with knowledge, that fear disappeared. Are there old beliefs passed down from generation to generation that hold you back out of fear? That's very devil. That's very generational attitudes holding us back out of fear. Fear asks you that you examine your beliefs. Are they in sync with reality? Saturn and Pisces. Are your decisions and actions based on old information that no longer holds relevance today? Sure, fear can save us from making painful, costly mistakes. However, if given too much power, fear also creates inaction and stagnation. Fear prevents our creative mind from exploring all possible solutions to our problems. Yeah, the Ace of Wands, the creative mind wanting to explore, but also being afraid. And this could be something that's coming up in your relationships, where you're wanting to explore something, or you're wanting to apply a creative solution to a problem, but it's like there's a side of you that's saying that'll never work, and we don't know until we try, right? So fear prevents our creative mind from exploring all possible solutions to problems. When this card appears, you may check in to see whether you're allowing fear to limit your potential. As this saying goes, fortune favors the brave. Just as the crow on the card reaps the benefits of the field of untapped potential as fearful crows hold back, you too have an opportunity where fear keeps others at bay. For you, the fearless, all you need to do is swoop in and seize the moment. Fear may keep other people trapped in their limitations, but Spirit is saying, and again, if you're trying to help someone else get out of fear or get out of their limitations, but they just don't want to listen, and they don't really want to hear you out, and the energy is just, the negativity is really bringing you down, then I think it is time to switch the focus. With your mind. Your mind is very powerful during this time. Pile number 1, so make sure you use that wisely, my dears. And I hope that reading resonated for you so much, pile number 1. I'm wishing you all the very best during this Saturnian period. Take care, my friends. Let's move on to pile number 2. Okay. Let's do it. Pile number 2, welcome to your reading. You chose card 34, which is a card of observation. And today's reading has to do with the Saturn retrograde, which is going to be starting its retrograde motion on June 29th, okay, all the way through the middle of November. Saturn will be retrograde this year. So pile number 2, let's find out what messages are, that's a lot. Let's find out what messages you're meant to handle, during this Saturn period, right? Because there could be a lot flying your way, or a lot of messages, or a lot of new situations coming your way. But it's important with Saturn, we know our limits. We know like how much we can take on, right? Versus what we should not do. So let's go ahead and see what is Saturn's message for this Saturn retrograde for pile number 2. What is the Saturn message for, oh, that's the 8 of Wands. Okay, what is the Saturn message for pile number 2? We have the 6 of Pentacles, observation, observing the things that other people do to make themselves stand out in situations or be successful. Let's see what we have here. We have the 4 of Wands. We have justice, okay? Saturn is exalted in Libra, so we've got that energy. We've got the 4 of Pentacles. And justice is a big energy of observation, for sure. And how to keep things balanced in situations that, how to hold steady, right? In situations that can become overwhelming. We have the Knight of Swords here, okay? And I mean, interestingly, pile number 2, I feel like you're in a pretty strong position during this Saturn retrograde, but we'll get into that in a second. We have Ram, a stubborn and aggressive person, okay? And we have Egg, success assured with good plans and hard work. The golden egg, that's coming out under justice, okay? We could have Libra, Aries energy going on here. We have Bell and announcement, okay? Making an announcement about something. And we have the month of October. Okay. Now, October, as I mentioned, Saturn is retrograde from the end of June to the middle of November. So something comes into your life, and someone comes into your life. This is a person, this Knight of Swords, comes into your life in the middle of October, and I don't know why I just said the middle of October, but I feel there is something coming for you in the middle of October. There is some news that a person is bringing. There's a particular person coming into your life, okay? I also feel some of you may be hearing an announcement from someone else about their marriage or their pregnancy, okay? And maybe some of you are like, it could never be me, Natalie, 4 of Pentacles. It could never be me. But you may get some surprising news in October about somebody else's marriage or pregnancy, okay? Is also kind of what I am feeling, that comes at a surprising kind of surprising way. All right, we have under this Ram, a stubborn and aggressive person. We have prejudice. What if you were categorized into a group and given attributes that were false without truly knowing who you are? Okay? And this could be somebody that, and because it's a Ram, this could be an Aries person. The 4 of Wands is Venus and Aries in the tarot. Okay? But somebody who, pile number 2, somebody could accuse you of not giving them a fair chance, all right? And I feel this is somebody that, as a friend, or as, like, it could be a friend or somebody who wants to be in your life on a more romantic level. But I kind of feel like someone accuses you of not liking them because they are, and you're like, who, me? What? Are you kidding me? All right. And somebody's pissed off because they feel left out. Okay. And they kind of come on the attack a little bit, I feel, pile number 2. Okay. And you really have to be the mediator in the situation. It could be between, your friend group, like something happens in the friend group, and it's brought on by somebody's announcement, okay? And the thing is I feel like there's someone that you're dealing with that could be very stubborn and aggressive at times, that isn't really changing their position. And I kind of feel like during this Saturn retrograde phase, you're thinking about cutting this person out of your life, because you've been observing their behavior and you've been observing, and I feel like because you're associated with someone else, someone accuses you of not like liking them because you're associated with someone else. And I feel like you guys are like, who, me? Like, are you kidding me? Some of you could have someone that you spend time with. It could be a friend or a family member or just an acquaintance who can be stubborn or aggressive, or who like is kind of prejudiced at times, or kind of like kicks other people out of the group, or doesn't really want other people to be a part of things. All right. And I feel like you've been observing this behavior in this person, and they've been acting like they kind of rule the roost, or they're kind of in control of everything. And I feel like you guys kind of get dragged into it a little bit. But at the same time, I feel like you guys practice the perfect amount of Saturnian reserve. Okay. And Saturn teaches us to be like, not react to people that are coming at us at 100 miles an hour and demanding answers about something. It's like, Saturn really loves it when we are not reacting to things like that. So someone comes at you with accusations, or someone comes at you with, with just like a lot of intensity, okay, with this Knight of Swords, and you're not budging, is what I feel. Pile number 2. You're like, I'm not really taking sides, Justice, okay? I'm not really taking sides in this situation, and I'm not really like, I'm not the one. Don't fuck with me, okay? Like, I feel with the 4 of Pentacles, you guys are not really reacting to this situation. And there is an announcement with this bell energy here, and someone could be making an announcement that they expect that you're going to have a big reaction to, and possibly a negative reaction to, or that you'll be jealous or you'll be mad because they're doing it first and you're not, something like that. And the thing is I feel like you give this person nothing, pile number 2. And that is perfect. Saturn salutes you, pile number 2, because when we are like faced with the decision of whether to react to somebody's like, gossip, information, like, purposely trying to like get a reaction out of you, I feel like you guys you're not budging. You're like, you're not getting any reaction from me. All right. My reaction is like dry as hell. Okay. And I feel like you don't really want to be involved in it either. You're like, I was just there because I was having fun, or I was getting to know new people, or whatever. And I feel like you guys find out that someone actually is kind of, as the young kids would say, kind of sus, okay? S-U-S-S. They're kind of sus. And they come in on the scene and they're kind of disruptive. They're I feel like they are disruptive. They are like doing a little too much with the things that they're saying and doing. And it's like, I don't want to really, you're like, your thing is, don't drag me into it. Okay. And we have the Ace of Pentacles, the Ace of Earth here, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. And, and I feel like you're the grounded one, that as long as you act in a way that is like to your own standards, and you don't react too much, and you keep your calm and you keep your cool, there's no one that can really throw you off. Okay. And, the thing that might really make you mad though, is being accused of being a certain way or doing a certain thing when you're not doing it. It's like, somebody kind of accusing you of being a certain way. And it's like, I am not that, like, no. And I feel like you guys not really, and here's the thing. Do you guys know the term rubbernecking? When people drive by like an accident, or and they just keep staring at it and they don't like focus on the road, or they don't like, you know, we can do that sometimes just in life, like rubberneck situations, and be like, oh geez, and see what's going on in a situation and really deduce for our own selves, like, I don't really want to be a part of that. Someone comes with a story or comes with trying to convince you of something with this Knight of Swords, like trying to either spur you to action or trying to convince you of something. And the thing is you're not very convinced. That's the thing. And it may take you by surprise a little bit, and you're like, ugh, you know, I don't really want to get involved in that. Okay, and I don't blame you, pile number 2. I don't blame you. We have Raven and Confidence, okay? Raven, that is interesting because we have the crows all over this reading, and now the raven is coming up, and ravens were often associated with being magical messengers. You are encouraged to disconnect from the physical or the materialistic plan and move to the spiritual realm. You have a deep spiritual connection, which you mustn't ignore. Okay, I feel you guys are very busy making decisions about money or making decisions about practical things, okay, which Saturn has a way of, you know, forcing us to deal with, you know, find solutions to problems, deal with the practical details, okay? But Spirit just saying, don't forget the spiritual. You are on the brink of a transformation, and your divine purpose may be revealing itself, okay? And your divine purpose is revealing itself, so have confidence in yourself, okay? And don't let anybody drag you into any fight that isn't really yours to get into, okay? And don't let anybody like try to convince you otherwise. And you guys may be defending a decision that you made or defending a choice that you made, and you're like, I'm good with it. I'm good with it. I don't want a lot of drama, I feel like, is where you guys are coming from. We have nature calls. Yeah, and I love that with the Ace of Pentacles here too. Nature calls. Take a stroll in nature and become one with Gaia. Oh, I thought it said and become one with gain. I was like, oh, okay. Well, I guess you have something to gain materially from being out in nature, but take a stroll in nature and become one with Gaia. Okay, don't let anyone rush you or pressure you into changing your plans if what you know you want to do is what you want to do, okay? And I see kind of a lot of disruptive people coming in and trying to take you off course or trying to change your plans. And it's like, no, like, I'm doing fine. I need some time to myself, and I need some time to clear my head, justice, okay, so that I'm set up to make the best possible decisions that I need to. And somebody, and especially in the month of October, I feel really on you about making a decision or doing something now. And I feel like what you guys are saying is, I need more time, and I need some time in nature to myself. We have Judge, oh my God, with Justice, of course, okay? And for those of you that are pursuing, like, you know, a legal career, or you're pursuing some type of career in the legal profession, I feel like it's really good that you're doing that. I feel it's positive for you. But I also feel that there are, you know, there's some people that are very like, they want an answer now, or they need something now, or they're just very on your case about something, needing a decision from you now, needing you to decide something immediately, okay? And with this observation card, I feel you guys need to take a step back, go chill in nature, regain your deep connection to your environment, and then make the choice, okay? And Judge talks about balancing justice and compassion and managing the fair distribution of power. A shadow attribute of justice is offering only destructive criticism, misusing business, legal, or criminal authority. Okay, and this Knight of Swords may be offering a lot of destructive criticism and not adding a whole lot to the conversation. And you've already worked out your own decision and what you want to say and do. Okay. And I also feel like there's kind of a guilty by association thing coming up for you guys. And it's like, that's not really fair, to you guys. Because I feel like you're like, I don't have any part in that. Okay. And Saturn wants solutions to problems that are very like elegant and balanced and fair. Saturn is exalted in Libra, okay? And Libra is known as the judge, all right? But it does take a lot of like finesse sometimes to make decisions about like how you're going to proceed with something. And I feel like, there could be a person who's very stubborn and resistant to change, or you could be a person that is not ready to make a decision and is being stubborn and resistant to change yourself, okay? But you've got someone trying to prod you and hurry you into doing something, and I feel like you guys are like, no, I need to take my time. We have Chiron and healing, okay? And someone could be trying to give you some medical advice about something, or trying to like influence you in a certain way. And I kind of feel like you guys are like, no, I'm not going to switch doctors. I'm not going to like do all that right now. It's not the right time. Okay. Or someone coming in and saying, I know the right thing you should do. You should make this decision. And it's like, I need a little more time to like observe my own symptoms. I need a little more time to plan this out and think about this. Like, stop trying to rush me. Okay. So I kind of feel some of these things could be coming up for you guys during this Saturn retrograde, but I feel like you handle it really well. Okay. You actually handle it so well that Saturn is like giving you guys a round of applause because you're not reacting. You're not letting them rage bait you into a response. You're very clear cut. You're very matter of fact. You're showing exactly where you stand on something. You're judging a situation accurately through the observation, through observing what is going on. Okay. So good for you, pile number 2. Good for you. And I'm going to read you this observation card. The crow watches the spider, intrigued by how it catches its meals. The crow could simply pluck that spider right up, but instead it decides to learn a little first. Observation asks that you hold back from reacting. Yeah, that's what I've been saying the whole time. Hold back from reacting and take some time to analyze the situation. There may be something of value that will only reveal itself given time. This card may also indicate that you would be better served by being a spectator and staying out of a situation. Yeah, very much so. Okay, you will learn more from listening rather than talking. And believe me, there's going to be plenty of people that are going to want to talk at you. Okay, they're going to want to talk in your direction, but Spirit is saying, don't like react. Just listen and observe what is being said and done around you. And that is the key to healing. And also like taking your time to patiently judge a situation. These are all things that will help you guys make the right choice. Particularly if you're trying to, for those of you trying to like see a new doctor or see a new therapist or something like that, I feel there could be some decisions that you need to make about that, and that's fine. But no need to rush it, okay? No need to rush it is what I'm getting. So pile number 2, that is what I am getting for you, my loves. I hope that that reading resonated for you, my dears, and I wish you all the very best. Take care. Let's move on to pile number 3. Okay. Pile number 3, welcome to your reading. You chose the distance card, and today's reading is called Saturn Retrograde Reading. And we are looking at what messages the planet Saturn has for you during this 4 to 5 month period of this retrograde. And we are going to go ahead and get into it. You picked the distance pile, or pile number 14, or card number 14. And let's go ahead and see. For my pile number 3s, what message does Saturn want to share during this retrograde in Pisces? Okay, for pile number 3. For pile number 3, Saturn loves the value of silence. Saturn loves it when we are silent and quiet within ourselves. We have here the Empress. Oh my goodness. Okay, pile number 3. And a lot of growth, a lot of healing, a lot of emotional growth and healing for you guys, pile number 3. And let's see, what else? We have the Lovers. Oh my goodness. Okay, now. Oh, the Knight of Cups. What? And we've got the Knight of Wands. Oh, well, that's sexy. And we've got the Wheel of Fortune. Oh my gosh. Pile number 3. Okay. There's definitely something coming through for you guys as far as romance and taking a chance on something that seems very unlikely at first, or seems very like risque or unlikely, but taking a chance on something and getting closer to someone is what I'm getting for you guys here. We've got Vine, seek out information that will help you. That is coming out under the Lovers card, okay? I feel like someone wanting to reconcile or tell you that they're sorry with the Knight of Cups here. Dog, far away. Wow, and this is the distant friend is thinking of you. And your guys' card is distance. Wow, okay. Seek out information that will help you. And dog far away, a distant friend is thinking of you. Okay, all right. And that's exciting. The Knight of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune, that is exciting. Marriage, what's going on? What is actually going on here? Are you guys getting real excited about the prospect of seeing someone you haven't seen for a while, or someone who's been a distant friend? Okay. And this person's like, I want to wrap myself around you like a vine and pull you close to me. This is a very different tone than pile 1 and pile 2, pile number 3. Wow, we've got November. And you know what? Saturn goes direct in November, okay? And so Saturn will be retrograde from the end of June to the middle of November. Something really shifts for you in the month of November, pile number 3, okay? Something really, really opens up for you. New opportunities, okay? And I see you guys taking this Saturn retrograde period to learn as much as you can about a person or a situation. And I see you guys getting really excited, okay, about meeting somebody special or connecting with someone special. And if you have felt very distant for a long time from anything remotely related to love, I feel like, here comes the hot stepper, pile number 3, the Knight of Wands, all right? And going to the beat of your own drum, like loving your independence. It's like as soon as you really start loving your independence and you really start loving being free and on your own, it's like all of a sudden these new opportunities open up for you. I feel you guys are going to have opportunities to travel, okay? And opportunities to get closer to someone, all right? And I do feel like someone is missing you or wanting you back and thinking about you. But I also feel like you guys are very like excited about the possibilities in the future as well. Okay. And let's see what else we've got here. We've got obsessiveness. Okay. Write down what you are obsessing over. Realize that it is emotionally draining you. Now, Saturn and Pisces can definitely represent things like worries and obsessiveness that is emotionally draining. And, like, why can't I get this person off of my mind? Why can't I get them out of my head? Why can't I let this go? And the thing is they may be thinking about you too, all right? And that is, part of the reason why you're thinking about them. But this is talking about, obsessing over the distance or between you and another person, and realizing that all of that obsession is really draining you emotionally, and seeking out information about how to let go of some of that. And yeah, this person is showing up in your reading, and yeah, they're thinking about you, and yeah, there's still feelings there. He's holding this, bouquet of roses here. All right. But I also feel like there is something wild within you, waking up within you. And come November, you're going to start to see that there is many more opportunities for you to let loose and have fun and to feel excited about your journey in your life and where you're headed. Particularly like November Sagittarius season, okay? And you're just realizing that there's a lot more out there for you in the world than you even expected. And it doesn't, like, as soon as you start tuning into your own creativity, your sacral chakra, the things that fire you up, traveling, going other places, like opening yourself up to new energy and new opportunities, then all of a sudden you become like a magnet for the things in your life that are wanting to become a part of you, okay? And I do think that there is Saturn and Pisces can represent a sad situation where we want to be with someone, but we can't. And we feel very sad that that person is far away from us. But we also have to get used to like having fun on our own and doing things on our own and opening our life up to new opportunities even without that in our lives, okay? Like I can still have fun. I can still smile. I can still, like it would be amazing to get married and travel around the world with this person. And it would be amazing to have that energy in my life, okay? And the thing is, with the Empress on the bottom of the deck, I do feel like you guys are very magnetic and charming and sexy during this period, pile number 3. And so it is hard for someone to like stay away from you. And I really see with this Knight of Wands of you guys getting your confidence back, okay? And like feeling less obsessive towards the situation and more about your own self and self-love with the Empress, which is what I really love. We have Pluto and transformation here, okay? And again, with the obsessiveness and, people's jealousy getting out of control, or people's like emotions becoming very obsessive, somebody really wanting to be with you, somebody really wanting to be close to you, okay? Somebody really obsessively wanting to go after you guys, I feel, pile number 3. Like, somebody really wanting to, like, can't stop thinking about you, can't stop, it almost feels kind of dangerous in a way, and that the distance is important, because if there was no distance, then it would become this, I can't stop thinking about you, I can't stop turning these conversations that happened around in our heads over and over and over again. I can't stop thinking about the things that we talked about or the moments that we shared together, the lovers, okay? And I can't stop wanting what I want. And, and so, but I feel like you guys come November, like when Saturn stations direct, there is a lot of intensity and obsessiveness in mentally between you and this person. But I also feel like, come November of next year, you guys really, like, you really get in touch with your own wild and your wild energy within, and like your sexuality and your sacral chakra, your creativity, and you really start getting excited about the future, and you really start getting excited about the possibilities and the potential of what could happen, okay? So, I mean, if you guys have been feeling lonely or distant, I do feel like by November of this coming year, something has really shifted, and you're back to smiling and happy and excited about something again. We have giraffe and reflection. If you are facing a difficult situation, do not rush into making a decision, okay? And the King of Wands with marriage could be like, I would marry that person right now if they asked me, okay? And, the Wheel of Fortune is interesting because it can be like a fuck it energy. Like, you only live once, YOLO, right? Fuck it, let's get married. Fuck it, let's do it. Fuck it. Like, I keep saying that over and over, pile number 3, but it could be that kind of like throw caution to the wind, like do whatever, okay? But, or moving somewhere for someone, or getting really excited about the potential of traveling somewhere to meet someone, or this type of thing, okay? But if you are facing a situation, do not rush into making a decision. Saturn hates rushing and Saturn loves to slow things down and has us look at the reality of something. And you are advised to turn the problem around in all possible manners before deciding on a solution. Okay, this could be where you're interested in someone from another country, and it's like, well, we can't be together unless we get married. First, we have to see each other. First, we have to make up. First, we are becoming very obsessed with one another. All right, this is like a time to reflect on some of these. And for some of you here, that already happened. You're like, no, Natalie, I did meet someone from another country. I did fall in love with them. We were talking about marriage. We are far away from each other right now. I would like to be back together with this person as soon as possible, okay? You are advised to turn the problem around in all possible manners before deciding on a solution. Your circumstances need to be examined carefully, okay? And coming out of a situation a winner. And now, pile number 3, hey, I've done it myself. I've moved for relationships before, and it has completely blown up in my face. And I've also moved for relationships, and yeah, the relationship didn't work out, but the move was the right choice. So I've seen all sides of the fence myself, pile number 3. But when something is becoming very obsessive and, out of control that way, we have to we got to kind of look at that too, okay? And this is something that, like, maybe it is time for a little distance, or it is time for a little reflection, instead of just kind of like rushing into something wild and crazy. And we have medium here. You are a doorway to the spiritual world, okay? And I love the cat. That's so cute. There's the giraffe and the cat. And like, you know, Spirit is saying you're a very intuitive, sensitive person, okay? And maybe some of you are wanting to take on a new course of study, or you're wanting to learn something new, or you're wanting to study mediumship, or you're wanting to get involved in more like spiritual classes or spiritual learning. And perhaps for some of you that will come in the month of November, okay? Or maybe some of you will actually go see a medium in the month of November. And it gives you a lot of things to reflect on. It gives you a lot of things to think about, okay? And we have here Alchemist, transformation of base motives and goals into golden wisdom, okay? And growing in your spiritual practice and growing in your abilities, okay? This is something where if you guys, you know, Knight of Wands, if you're leading spiritual circles, if you're like, you know, you're taking some of these karmic lessons that you learned from your relationships in the past, and maybe some of you are traveling and you are attending like a spiritual retreat, or you are leading a spiritual ritual, okay? And you know, I love like drumming and power circles, and you know, I love all that type of stuff. And if you have an opportunity to do any of that, pile number 3, like go for it, you know? And there's also the alchemical marriage, and the alchemist looking to bring two diametrically opposing or two really opposite things together in order to create something new. And, you know, like a marriage of alchemy, sexually and emotionally, intensely, and spiritually, is something coming up for you guys. And, you know, leading a ritual or going on a retreat or going somewhere to explore something new within yourself spiritually, I can definitely see you guys working on that, okay? And, you know, there is somebody that I feel you guys would like to be with sexually, and there is someone that turns you on a lot, and it's been hard for you to stop thinking about this person, and maybe they are a friend of yours too, and they've been at a distance, or you two have been friends, but, you know, this obsessing over this, write down what you are obsessing over, realize that it could be emotionally draining you and taking away from you living more in the present moment, okay? And for those of you that are currently with someone, but you can't stop thinking about someone from your past obsessively, I feel this may be about stepping into the present moment. And some of you could be seeing a more aliveness coming alive in your marriage. If there's been distance in your own marriage or distance in your partnership, things could shift and change there. And maybe you are reflecting on your marriage, or reflecting on when you almost said yes to marriage and you wish you would have taken the chance, okay? But there's these kind of issues that are coming up. Maybe even some of you with the Empress here are thinking about kids or wanting to have a baby, and you know, like, I want to have a kid someday, and I want to meet someone special, and I would like to have an alchemy, a marriage that is like alchemy, the alchemical marriage, okay? And I would like to travel, and I would like to focus on my spirituality, and I would like to grow. And I feel like, you know, the giraffe is one of the tallest animals out there. I mean, that's a lot of growth. But it also involves like sticking your neck out there a lot and thinking about, like, was that worth it? Okay. Was that like impromptu marriage, or that impromptu travel, or that impromptu, like, you know, sexual experience? Was that worth it? Is that really what I wanted? Okay. So that is interesting, but I really feel, you know, because the Wheel of Fortune is not a Saturnian card. It is the opposite of that. And a lot of the energy here is honestly the opposite of Saturn. Like, You know, the Knight of Cups, the Knight of Wands, those are, which if you guys have been feeling bored and distant from people in your life, I feel like it is going to get a lot more exciting. We have the air element, right? It all starts with a conversation. And it all goes from there, doesn't it? And particularly like in Gemini, there's a lot of planets in Gemini right now, and they're all squaring Saturn and Neptune, okay? But just make sure you understand what you're agreeing to. Open yourself up to new opportunities to like lessen the distance. But I want to read the distance card here for you guys really quickly. It says, to get the lay of the land, sometimes you need to take a look from a distance. Yeah. And distance indicates that you would be best served by taking a step back so you can see the big picture. Air energy. Yep. See the big picture. Get out of the obsessiveness. Okay. You may be focusing too narrowly on one area, you know, like your love life or the fact that you miss someone. Okay. I get it. Pile number 3, if you do miss someone, but you may be focusing too narrowly on one area of your life. Well, there's a whole world out there to explore. Yeah. Okay. Wheel of Fortune, Knight of Wands. There's a whole world out there for you to explore. You may need to consider if growth within a situation or a relationship is at risk of being stunted due to being overcritical or nitpicky. Are you able to see the potential even if there are a few flaws? Of course, you might find distance appears when you are too focused on one positive aspect of a situation or event while missing all the negative outcomes that may potentially exist. Yeah, like if we're not seeing the forest for the trees, we can easily get really excited and rush into things, and then all of a sudden be far away from them, you know, that type of thing. Distance is a teacher. Honestly, like having distance in a situation can really help us focus on what's important. Okay, and distance asks if you are too close to a situation to remain impartial or unbiased. You might benefit from taking a leave of absence or literally putting some distance between you and the situation by taking a trip. Yeah, taking a trip and putting some distance between you in a particular situation, which has been taking up all of your mental energy. All right. So pile number 3, that is what I am getting for you, my friends. I hope that that reading resonated for you, my loves, and I would love to hear your thoughts, your comments, and your feedback. Take care.